Hey guys, Jim here. It's been a while since I've done just kind of a ramble video, and I've had actually a few people ask me on Instagram lately, hey, when are you going to do another knives and wine video? So I guess that'll be tonight, except it's not going to be wine. Decided to break out a little bit of scotch. There's not much left in that bottle, so might be time to head down to the store again and get some more. So, to everybody at home, cheers. Not really sure if there's a lot for me to cover right now. I mean, all the exciting stuff that's been going on with me really has had to do with, the announcement that I made last week about the new knife show. It's been a lot of work prepping things and receiving packages and getting everything ready. I mean, that's pretty much been my life between work and that. It's been nuts. I guess I could share with you guys the cool new artwork that'll be used for the show. There it is. That's the name of the show, Diamond Jim's Live Knives Project. And it's actually kind of a tongue twister. I probably should have picked a little bit of an easier name to use, but oh, that was pretty damn cool. It's got a battle in there. It's got a tannic in there. Oh, hey, look, a battle and a tannic. So pretty easy to see where that came from. And it was funny because I actually put out just a quick request to my friends on Facebook. I said, hey, anybody that happens to be, a graphic artist, it'd be pretty damn awesome if you could, make something up for me. And my buddy Mark, who actually happens to be one of my knife buddies, was the first person that came up and had a great design. So, Mark, thank you so much. It's a really cool design. I very much appreciate it. So he was able to incorporate my skull that I already had and was something that was a bit knife related. I didn't want to go anything too crazy because at some point I want to do like t-shirts and hats and swag like that I can give away or whatever. And I didn't want to get anything that was going to be too difficult for a an artist to do on some sort of media like that. I guess I could start with pretty much what I've got in front of me. What I've got in front of me are pretty much my top favorite knives right now. It's kind of like my top 10, or actually I think this might actually be 11 when you counted the Bonner. The Bonner I almost don't even think about when I talk about that because it's such a favorite of mine that it's daily carried. Like all of these, I go through a rotation. There are certain days that I'll carry certain ones or I won't carry it for a certain amount of days. This is my secondary backup. This is the knife that is always on me, no matter what my primary is. If for some reason I've even left the house and forgotten to carry a primary, this is already in my back pocket in the cool leather sheath. I just freaking love it. The fit and finish on this thing is amazing. The size when you've got the lanyard on there is just awesome. I highly recommend if you can ever get onto Eric Bonner's books to get one, you need one. You seriously fucking absolutely need one. He's actually making me a second one that will match my Archangel. So it's going to be done in the satin finish on the blade, then we're going to mirror the flats, and then he's doing a beautiful presentation grade mother of pearl inlay with the black liner like I have here on my Archangel. So it's actually going to be a perfectly matched set for the days that I carry my Archangel. I'm able to carry my my pocket butcher. God, I just friggin' love that thing. My newest, let's see, what's my newest out of this group? All right, my newest acquisition is this one. And it's a funny story because I actually got this from my buddy Judd. We actually went to the New York Custom Knife Show together. And by the time I had finally gotten around to Tony Marfione's table, I'd already spent all the money that I really wanted to spend during that show. And then I saw this and I fell in friggin' love with it. And Tony told us the story. He's like, yeah, I've only made 3 of this exact configuration. It's got this specialized coating. And I'm going to get more into that when I do the actual video on this knife. So bear with me. It's taking a little bit of time, but I'm still going back and forth, and I want to talk a little bit more with Tony about the coatings before I make the video. But he told us all about the coatings at the show, and my buddy Judd fell in love with it, and he ended up buying it on the spot. And it was really cool because Tony offered to sign the outer box, and I'm like, would be cool. I'm like, because it is, the DOC was, a collaboration between Tony and Mick. I'm like, how cool would that be if you went over and had, Mick sign the box too? Even though Mick really has nothing to do with this knife at all, except for just lending the shape to the handle. But Mick was cool to sign it too. So, I mean, I got a double signed box. But this was the real reason. This is one of Tony's legendary mirror polished blades, done in a nightmare grind, and with this beautiful, rich bronze finish. This is, as far as a tactical style knife, I think probably the sexiest knife I've ever seen. I mean, yes, my battle is a tactical style knife, but we took it in a direction of being a bit more dressy. Same thing with my Archangel, same thing with my RJ Martin here. This being the 30,000 layer carbon fiber and the deep bronze, it still carries off that true tactical look, and it's got that tactical feel, or at least tactical. And I gotta tell you, I just think it is just friggin' dead-ass sexy. And the action, almost took my thumb off, is phenomenal. Not anything like the production DOC that you guys very well know that I had and did that now infamous review on. This thing is just a rocket. It's ridiculously smooth. It's such a well-done piece. And the FU clip is much more tame on this. It doesn't come out quite as much. So it's actually not that cumbersome in the hand at all. I'm very, very pleased. This is a seriously impressive knife, and one that's worth every friggin' penny that he charges for it, and will probably, most likely, never leave my collection. So that's my newest acquisition that's sitting out here on the table. I did get 2 knives back from kind of spa treatments. You guys saw the video that I did on my Monster Model 100 from Jesse Jaros with the just the beautiful work that was done. And I said, I would love to get, the only thing I can knock on this is the the bent spring clip. I said, would you make me a Timascus clip that would go with my Timascus bolsters? He's like, oh, shit, yeah, no problem, man. So he did a really nice sculpted Timascus clip and reverse set the hardware in it. So it's actually coming from the inside of the frame. And it goes in the pocket great, really locks in solid, probably the most solid locking clip I've ever had in my life. And while he had it, he recentered the blade for me and did a little bit of work. He resharpened it, and he tuned up the action. And I gotta tell you, I thought the action was nice before. It is incredible. It is crazy smooth. And for a ginormous 4-inch super thick blade, this thing just flies out of the handle. I am extremely happy with this, and it is one that is seeing more and more pocket time now that I've got it back. It is ridiculously sharp. I mean, he just did such an amazing job. So Jesse, my friend, thank you very much. I could not be more impressed. Still my #1 favorite knife in my entire collection, which I never thought I'd ever be able to say that. It's really hard to pick a favorite, but yeah, my Frank Fisher battle. This thing is, it's sex. It is the most astounding flipper I've ever played with. Smoothest action, craziest detent. The all hidden hardware, no screws anywhere except for the customized pivot. This was the first customized pivot that he had designed, but one person actually got theirs before my knife was complete. He just did such an amazing job. 220 thou thick blade. It's just double thick on everything else. So he just did such an amazing job, and I truly love carrying it. And I haven't found a single thing yet that it's had an issue cutting. So very, very happy with that. You guys know I love my Warney Tannic with the purple Chad Nichols Zircotai. Action on it's phenomenal. The blade shape is great. Another one that I've been carrying a lot. And I promised you guys I would let you, I would follow up with you on the lock. As you see, it's no longer sticking. It is broken in, and it is super crazy smooth. So, Jeff, my friend, thank you very much for that. Now, the other one I just got back is my Southern. You guys probably know this knife pretty well by now. This is my Southern Tarsus, and when I sent it to Brad, all of the titanium was anodized a really, really dark bronze, very similar to my prototype Redention. And it was a beautiful knife, and I loved it, but I said, I was just kind of talking to Brad one night, and I said, I really think, and I don't want to offend you because you obviously put a lot of time and thought into, every knife that you do, and I love it no matter what. But what would you think about stripping off the anodize and let it go back to the natural look of the tie? I said, I think it would really make the blue pop a lot more, and it would give it a greater contrast against the touches of zirconium. And he's like, yeah, you know what, that would actually look really good. He goes, when you send it in for a spot treatment, I'm more than happy to do that for you. And so he did all that, and it looks amazing. He did a new finish on it for me as well. It's a very, very fine finish. It is so high-end. And then he also did two things that surprised me. He asked me if, when he got the knife, he asked me if I wanted him to adjust the detent, and it flipped fine before, but he's like, I know you like a really hard detent. Would you want me to do that? I'm like, yeah, well, while you got it apart, sure. And then he replaced all the bearings with ceramic bearings. And this thing now is a ripper, man. I couldn't be happier with this thing. It flips like crazy. So this is now back in my constant rotation. I've had it back for just about a week now, and I think I've already carried it 3 times since it got back in the past week. And it's really hard to kick the battle out of my pocket. Just got my gyros back, so yeah, it's had some stiff competition, but this knife, it makes me stiff when I carry it. So Brad will be happy to know that. Walk around with a stiffy all day, thanks to Brad. Just to give you an idea of Southern action, I'll bring out the Southern that's going to be on the live knife show on the 28th. This thing is just gorgeous. It's so simple and it's so sweet. I just love the way that this thing came out, and with the grooves that he carved into the frame here. He did such a beautiful job on that. It kind of holds your thumb in place, almost like jimping. So when you're flipping it, it kind of gives you a little place to rest your thumb. And yeah, the action on this thing is incredible too. Very smooth, very crisp detent. Not a very hard detent, although it is quite stout, but it is a very crisp break. Feels fantastic. And I just noticed that he did some jimping on the flipper tab there too. Wow, would you look at that? It feels really nice too. So Brad, thank you. And I'm actually really jealous of whomever gets that on the 28th. You're getting one hell of a piece. I did get a couple other pieces in for the show today. This is a beautiful Ramon Chavez Redention. This one is in the flat titanium. Really nice. He did a great job on this, where he did the stone wash and a bead blast. So it's nice and smooth, and you've got that really, really matte finish. It's very similar to the finish that I have on mine. Did a beautiful blue ano on the back spacer. And the action, oh, incredible. One of the very few two-tone blades that he's done. It's actually the opposite of mine. Remember, mine was prototype number 10 of 10, and mine was the only existing two-tone blade. So he did it in the exact opposite. So he did the dark wash on the bevels, and he went satin on the flats, whereas on my personal knife, I have the acid wash flats and the satin bevels. And as much as I love mine, I got to tell you, man, this thing is cool. Now, where the prototypes are numbered, those 10 prototypes were numbered right up here on the blade with the slashes. On the, I don't really want to call them production because they're custom knives, but on the after prototype run, I need to get some light in here. Let me just kind of zoom this down. And you should be able to see it in there. Come on now. There it is, number 37, and then signed by Ramon right there. So that one will be available on the show, and yeah, the action is just smooth and gentle. Did an amazing job. By the way, another interesting thing here, this is the only other Redention with the short clip. Remember, I had a third cut off of my clip. The clips usually come to about here, and he went ahead and chopped this down. I didn't realize he was going to do that. So this is the only other existing Redention with the 2/3 clip, if you will. Pretty nifty stuff. We were talking about Taniks. Here's the Tanik that Jeff made for the show. Watch this action. I think this is pretty amazing. Snappy and fast. Very, very nice detent on there. Just give it a little nudge and it wants to fly out. Ready? Oh, great clip on there. Sculpted titanium. The beautiful abalone laid into the pivot. Just a great job. Jeff's a hell of a guy. Most of you guys that have signed up on the Facebook page, which please do go visit the Facebook page. This is the stout that you saw on there, Jason Stout, with the chisel grind. Beautifully done. And in some of the pictures, I know it looked like the tip of the blade was coming out because of the way I was playing with shadows. You couldn't see the end of the frame. You'll see here that no, it obviously does not protrude the end of the frame. This thing is absolutely incredible. You have a chisel grind with a 200 thou thick blade. So when he took the deep hollow on this, it's even more prominent. And oh, I know, look at that thing, huh? Just gorgeous. This is another one that's really, really hard for me to let go of. Whomever gets this is very, very lucky. Because you're actually going to be getting it for $100 less than Jason would have sold it to you directly for. Because we had negotiated a price and then he decided to make the knife. And when he did, he's like, oh, you know what? I decided to throw in a whole bunch of extra goodies. He goes, it's a knife that if I sold it at a show or sold it somehow direct to a customer, I'd charge him $1,000. I'm going to be selling this for $900. Yeah, I know most people are charging $1,500, $1,600, $1,800. Yeah, that's where the change comes in, guys. But yeah, this is actually going to be less than if he built it for you directly. And then, of course, another one I put up on Instagram to let you guys see. And oh, this thing, this double homicide is insane. This is going to be another one at a really, really crazy price. My buddy JD Jerry that sent this in. Thank you, buddy. This is going to make somebody really, really happy because that is a wickedly, insanely built knife and one of the nicest actions that I've felt on any double homicide. Just do me a favor. Do not stick your thumb in the holes when you go to close the blade. You know, you got to let it drop down, your thumb's in there, because it's really sharp and it will take off your thumb. Or at least dig pretty far into it. Anyway, enough about the show. You guys already know about the show. Back to my favorites here. Still my eternal favorite. Oh, yeah. It's that amazing Joel Perella design Brian Ty built. Bango, which was my grail since 2009. And I was able to buy Joel's knife directly from him. And yeah, to this day, I still truly love it. My camera will not focus with all these knives on the table here. But it doesn't get carried as often as I'd like to because I just really don't want to mangle this one up because it is going to be with me for so long. I just don't want to have it where it's, I don't know, where it's looking ugly. I mean, it's polished and brushed titanium all the way around, everything on this. So it's meant to be obviously a bit more of a show knife, but you know, I still carry it maybe once a month, just not as much as I used to. And yeah, this is another one that gets carried a hell of a lot. My Razel by John Graham with the green zircotai. Just, again, it's another one of those knives where there's nothing that it won't cut. There's no task out there that this won't excel at. And that's why I love it. And that's why it ends up in the pocket so much and it flips so freaking nicely. Did get a chance to talk to John on the phone yesterday or the day before. I think it was yesterday. He is recovering from his surgery. He had a really major back surgery. You know, he's getting ready to start his physical training either today or tomorrow. And, you know, he's trying to be in good spirits and get through everything. And just, he wants to get back to the bench. He wants to get back to grinding. So keep sending your positive thoughts his way. Check out his Facebook page. Send him a message. Tell him you're thinking about him. Because he really is truly one of the good guys. And he's a super humble cat as well. So to John, cheers to you, my friend. Oh, that will put hair on your testicles, boys and girls. And then, of course, my R.J. Martin. This little modulator, Damascus. Zirc, mother of pearl, titanium, Timascus. Cool little bugger, man. I always loved my Qs, but this is so much more manageable in the pocket. So I think this turned into less of a ramble video and more of a top 10. People ask me about it sometimes. I did a Magnificent 7 video last year, so this is kind of my top 10. Again, this is always in my pocket, so even though there's 11 knives out here, this is top 10. That's kind of how I feel about it. Anyway, I will try to get another video up sometime before the show on Friday the 28th. Again, that's 9 p.m. Eastern. Yes, I have devised a way to do the order system. I'm just not going to tell you what it is until the night of the show. Go back, watch the last video I did about it. I did turn off the comments for now because people were just taking it in the way wrong direction. Read the enhanced description that I added. It should answer all the pertinent questions that you've got. All right, guys, for now, I'm going to jump off of here, and I'm going to go finger bang some of my favorite ladies here, and I will talk to you soon.